Yeah, so I wasn't sure if Souls of the Lost would be a good fit for this shell, but I do think after seeing it in action in that game, I think it will be very good in the shell, and do have to like tweak the sideboard a little bit. Oh, I know these new days are always so chaotic, but it's nice to have the all access account. It's easy to make changes. Is there anything you could have done there? I mean, we just don't have very many turn 3 kills in our deck. We could have sideboarded, different cards for Belcher. 2 basics, 6 non-basics. Probably 1 less fetch land, but I want more fetch lands if I'm playing Souls of the Lost. Go with 3 mountains. Can probably get away with 3 blood crypts. This is 13 black sources. I don't know. I mean, I could also like just not play green sources, but I've played and I think it's a bit easier to play the green sources in this build because you have less restricted colored mana early compared to Crabvine, which needs like 3 sources of color turn 1. You only need 1 source of colors mana turn 1 here. Yeah, I'll just play 2 basics. I think it's probably fine. And then in the sideboard, I think we can go down to 2 Blood Moons. 2 Grudge, 1 Cursed Totem. They have a Hollowvine list that also uses crabs. No, in general, I don't think you want to play crab in your Hollow One deck. Like, it's okay with Vengevine, but you're missing. You don't have like. It's like it just doesn't work with the same enablers. I think Souls of the Lost will be good here. We don't have any islands in the deck for Wonder. Inti can also give Souls Trample. But this is more so like the other one was more of a Souls of the Lost deck. This is more of an Inti build. Like Inti should be crazy in this deck where you have Street Wraith, you have Burning Inquiry, Goblin Lore, Inti itself like triggers Hollow One. You have more discard synergies. Okay, let's get going. The fact that Persist can't get Garuda makes me not very excited. It's an interesting hand. I think the Souls of the Lost is looking really good. I think I'm going to put back the Inti and consider not casting Inquiry turn 1. Tap Dwarven Mine. I think against Dwarven Mine I will cast the Inquiry turn 1. So I'm not quite lucky enough to discard the Vengevine and cast Hollow One and do everything on turn 1, but I will I'll accept this outcome and we can go Souls of the Lost, discard Vengevine turn 2. Pretty good turn 1. Yeah, I just mostly think the Garuda is like likely not worth it in this kind of shell. I also think Bitter Triumph is not a playable main deck card in a deck like this. I would like basically never want to play this over like Victim of Night, play it over like Splashing Red very easily for Terminate, or the new Terminate is just like not a card that I think makes any sense to me. I do think that you are going to play decks like this and really feel the fact that you don't have 1 mana interactive spells. I think if you're going to play a Garuda deck like this with all 2 mana spells, some number of Gemstone Caverns is nice, but I see that you're playing the Witch's Cottages, but the Witch's Cottages also don't really look that good. Your Souls of the Lost also don't look very good, I think, where you have exactly 4 cards in the entire deck that are good to discard. You have your 4 Archons, and that's it. You also have 19 instants or sorceries in your Souls of the Lost deck. You need to have mostly permanents. And you also need to have more things that are good to discard than exactly 4 cards. You also need to play, if you're going to play Souls of the Lost in a deck like this, you need to play like 12 fetch lands or something. Like only playing 7 fetch lands in your Souls of the Lost deck in a deck like this doesn't really make much sense. I know you have the Field of Ruins, but they're very slow. You need to be like -2 Field of Ruins, -1 Witch's Cottage, maybe -3 Field of Ruins into plus like 4 fetches. Yeah, I don't really think the list makes a lot of sense either. You would need to figure out a way to be like almost entirely permanent based for Souls of the Lost to be good. You need to be playing like Stitcher Supplier, Bloodghast, like a very creature-based Reanimator deck that just kind of has like Archon plus Persist as a package of like nut draws. And then you're also like incredibly weak to Graveyard Hate in this build. Being mono black, you have like no way to counter it really. So they bounce the Souls of the Lost. So if we draw a land, we can Vengevine. It's probably better to sack a land here than it is to discard the Burning Inquiry. It seems like it would be much better to put my opponent to 1 than to kill the Teferi here, since... Oh wait, this is 9. That's not putting it to 1. Still just don't care about Teferi, I think. But putting the 1 stops them from fetching for a mine. I'm pretty sure we're beating, like, fetch for Archon, right? They go to 4 if they fetch. We sack Rootwalla. Yeah, being able to sack a land's kind of nice. Like in these games, just grows it. Do you think they might be on Leylines? I haven't played against a lot of creativity lately. I feel like historically they usually play that shitty Turn the Earth card instead. Yeah, Teferi stops Rootwalla, but I think the life total is just too low for me to care a ton about it. Yeah, Souls of the Lost. Yeah, also just being a big dumb creature is like in your like combo control deck is not something you should be that interested in. Okay, on the draw, we do have possible turn 1 Hollow 1. If they have Spell Pierce, they have Spell Pierce. I'm going to keep. I just what Gyru is the thing. Yeah, me too. It's like, it's just, especially with the Companion nerf, just I think too big a hurdle to jump through for like mediocre payoff. And like the only thing like I think that could draw you towards it is like a Goryo's Gyruda deck. Like that's like the only way to make it kind of powerful. But it's still, we discard the Hollow 1 and we discard the other land we drew. Live by the Inquiry, die by the Inquiry. Oh, opponent's playing Get Lost. Instant, destroy target creature, enchantment, or planeswalker. Its controller creates 2 map tokens. So you destroy your own token and get 2 map tokens. Get Lost. Win in Bowmaster for this deck. Let me play with the freaking new cards, chat. Please. Yeah, but you can play Bowmaster over Souls of the Lost. It's good. It's good with Inquiry. It's not good with like any other card in the deck, but it is like a fine modern card for sure. Bowmaster is also kind of good with Oh Here Axonil, the new card. Be kind of cool to figure out a shell with both of those. Post for the Twitch Prime. Thank you. Did not already play the Amulet deck. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe today. But yeah, I mean, Bowmaster is kind of like it only works with 1 card in the deck. It's tough to play like a card with like that little synergy, but it would be fine. It would be a very reasonable card to include. Got lots of stuff to do. So if they slam creativity, we were pretty toast and just gonna have to run it back for game 3. Maybe they'll get lost me. Is there ever any world where like Souls solos them? Not really. Yeah, let's just go to game 2 or game 3. Why play good cards when you can play great cards like Goblin Lore? Yeah, I mean, I do think you have to play Goblin Lore if you want to play Hollow 1. Also, you know, so like you can play Bowmaster over Souls of the Lost. I think that is the conversation, and you know, I wanted to play test a new card, but this card is also gigantic and fast, and you know, discards Rootwalla and Vengevine and Ox of Agonas pretty well. Has a good amount of synergy. I'm gonna keep this. We do kind of need to draw another Street Wraith for this hand to be really good. Could potentially wait until turn 3 to go off, which I don't love. Go off is also kind of a stretch. One thing I like about this actually is that I can go. I get to play around bolts super well. I get to go Souls of the Lost, discard Rootwalla, and if they have Lightning Bolt, they'll bolt my Souls of the Lost, and I can Street Wraith in response and just like counter it for 0 mana. Which will just be kind of crazy blowout if they have it, and you know, they're somewhat likely to have it. I remember Goblin Lore was $40 in 2018. I don't remember it getting that high, but I do remember it being a good card and like pretty expensive card. Could have also just not cast Rootwalla. Why would you want to do that? Because then like they like aren't going to play into the plan, right? Okay, so not much reason to play Souls of the Lost first. We can go Souls of the Lost into Rootwalla plus Hollow One. Shout out to all the people who have suggested Orcish Bowmasters. Sad they have binding instead of bolts, but it is what it is. Or although maybe they're like consciously playing around it. So we're attacking for 3, 6, 9, 13 next turn. They're shocking. Does this mean a double binding? Okay, I don't know why you want to shock here, but they did. Consider me shocked. They have to block now. I drew the fetch land. I'm hitting them for 14. I drew a fetch land and they fetch shocked. I didn't bring in Blood Moon on the play. Maybe I should have brought it in. My opponent refuses to block, refuses to trade a shaman for a Rootwalla, and goes down with the ship. Marv with 21 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Maybe a lot of inconsistent. Misty Rainforest. This is Living End. Things are going to get a little weird, I guess. Seems to not be Living End, which is probably for the best. I think I discard Vengevine. Almost feels right to discard Ox of Agonas, but we're like, you know, a little too far away from having a crazy Ox of Agonas turn. And like basically any card that would give us a crazy turn, like Inquiry or Lore, would like also discard the Ox. When are you playing this iteration of the Grill deck in Denver? How do people already feel? This is something that always shocks me, that people think that they can have a deck selected for a tournament as far away as Denver. You know what I mean? Like, that shit is like 5 months away or 4 months away. And like the difference is like you're splashing for Nile Spellbomb, which I don't, and Thoughtseize, I don't think that even makes much sense to me, but I think I greatly dislike the splash. I think I greatly dislike playing this many fewer fetch lands, especially when you are splashing. I dislike the Den of the Bugbear with the splash. I dislike the fact that you have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 green sources. Like we have 13 green sources. That's like bare minimum in your Abundant Harvest deck. I think that you really don't want to go below 13. Yeah, I don't really get. Thoughtseize is like also like it's just not that good of a card in Modern. Do you know what I mean? Like Thoughtseize is a relatively mediocre Modern card, and I in general don't recommend splashing for it. It's just it's an okay Modern card. It's not bad, but it is in my opinion just not good enough to splash for, and like is like. It's also like a very generic card, right? Where it's good if your opponent has cards in their hand, you get to discard them. It was amazing for you. The Thoughtseizes? Well, again, the splash is like I think very undoable. You're making Here's the thing: if Thoughtseize is amazing for you in the deck, why not main deck it? Why not main deck Thoughtseize? Thoughtseize is like not, in my opinion, specifically good against almost any deck. It's a very generic card. It's not a specifically good card. Teferi is really good here because if I draw a discarder, I like can't get through the Get Madness. I didn't say Thoughtseize was good for you. What did you say was good for you then? I'm sorry. You said, dude, it was amazing for me. What is the it? Maybe a little bad to kill the Teferi here. I feel okay about it. Just simply chatting. Oh, the basic forest. Oh, the forest is fine. I think you can play the forest, but you still only have 11 green sources counting the forest, though, right? Okay, I think I'm down to Inquiry and just escape the Ox. We can maybe have like a much more explosive turn this turn. Although it did kind of seem like maybe my opponent's hand was bad, so some downside, of course. So I've cast 2 creatures, right? I've cast 3 creatures, so I can't Vengevine this turn. I can Hollow 1 this turn, though. And then I think I'll sacrifice a Blazing Rootwalla for 3 damage. It seems like a fine trade. So we put our opponent down to 6. Then they get to have an Omnath turn, which is bad, but we also will very likely get another Vengevine and play next turn, and we're attacking for a lot. Also, there's a good chance they can't afford to gain life with the other land. I don't know. I guess they get the best decision either way. I guess maybe it's not that good a chance we get the other Vengevine since we have no creature in hand at the moment. Yeah, I could just cast the Vengevine. That is true. Kind of wanted to get to use the Neonate, but just casting, playing land, pump is it's a lot of damage. Bring to Light Verdict. Maybe. Be kind of okay with it. Hardcast Fury, so they're going to get to clean up my 1 toughness creatures, probably. I really want to discard the Vengevine. It's probably just way too greedy, though. Yeah, I have to draw creature. Oh, although, yeah. I mean, it's even still good to discard the Blood Crypt because now I can draw any 1 mana creature and get the other Vengevine back. There we go. And now I drew Neonate, so I can even potentially draw a creature for turn, Neonate, discard, cast the other creature, get in, go big. So, cast Fury, evoke Fury. Kill my Ox, kill my Rootwalla. Kind of happy that the Ox is in the graveyard, too. It's kind of a dub. This is really not so bad for me. Although, the Fury does block my Vengevines pretty well, I guess. I did draw the extra creature. Great draw. We drew Souls of the Lost also, so let's go for that. Sacrifice a Mountain. It's casual 2 mana 9/10. Updated State of Modern. Haha. Seems like if we get in with the Rootwalla, we're just letting Omnath have a good block. Although we do put them to 1 if they go block here, block here. And then it's also an extra card in the yard for Ox, so I guess that's probably worth it. And then holding Flameblade Adept for the other Vengevine is... I think not better than playing the Adept. Well, I guess they're going to gain life, maybe. They only have one card in their hand. Oh, we can also Ox right now. I lose the Vengevine. And I also shrink this down to 0 power. And or I guess 1 power because I'm casting the Adept. I'm going to cast the Adept and pass, I think. Putting someone to one on nothing board is not that valuable. Maybe it is, though, with them only having 1 card in their hand. Did you admit playing Bloodghast? I mean, I'm not playing Bloodghast. If so, what's my thought process behind the choice? It's just... there's not a card I'd play over it for the most part. Like, we have, like, the Vengevine, the Hollow One, the Ox of Agonas. I guess you can play it over Flameblade Adept, but Flameblade Adept's pretty good. Like, I just don't think that there's a card I'd play it over. I played a lot of the Shell, and like Vengevine's been, you know, kind of mediocre in general. You could, though. This was the sideboard plan last time and it worked. Blood Moon's insane. It's just kind of tough to bring it in on the draw. They can play around it pretty easy. I'll bring it in on the play, though. Maybe the Souls of Lost are just too bad. Yeah, I do think Souls are pretty bad in this matchup. It's maybe an okay cut. We did beat the Bean deck earlier. We 2-0'd them. Seems like this matchup might be okay. Just a little bit surprising, to be honest, but happy surprise. Back to Nature and Bloodborne as a combo. Yeah, it's kind of funny because you're never going to Back to Nature your own Blood Moon because you can't cast it. And then after they like binding your Blood Moon, then it unlocks your Back to Nature, and then you can like get rid of the binding and get back your Blood Moon. It's like, which is maybe just like copium or whatever, but what about Souls in general? I think it's been pretty good so far. It's like, it's gigantic, and like it's cool that you can build it in a deck like this where the downside of sacrificing or discarding is like very often an upside. And so I'm interested in trying it in some other shells too, and I'm interested in trying Inti in some other shells, but this is, I think, a pretty reasonable, good start. Steph with a tier 1, thank you. Yeah, good role player. Nice to draw our land. Probably going to set up by playing a Neonate and a Adept here. Probably going to get Stomping Ground also, since they Solitude you a bunch, so life total doesn't matter so much. Magus over Blood Moon. Well, I want to bring in Blood Moon against like this. Oh, they have Core Firewalker, which they pitched. I want to bring in Blood Moon in these kind of matchups sometimes. So I think that, and like, you just really you can't bring in Magus in these kind of matchups. But yeah, it does bring back Vine. I don't know. So like kind of a timeless question. Blood Moon versus Magus of the Moon. Thank you, Ansar, for the 21 months. Thank you, Steven, with the tier 1. Alright, let the beaning begin. What the fuck? Ariok Champion and Core Firewalker. It's kind of funny against my menacing Flameblade Adept. I guess we can get a trade going. I'm down. I'm very down for them to have hit that instead of up the beanstalk. This is the top rated. I totally missed it. It seems very odd to me, but it's okay. Things can be odd. Sorry, I meant to get the other Stomping Ground there. Ooh, we drew the Blood Moon. It's kind of hype. Ox in the Yard, another Rootwalla cast, another life gain for them. Yeah, it does feel like I'm just gonna slam in with everything. Since I'm pretty okay if they don't block my Flameblade Adept and take 7. I'm okay if they double block it, which I think they kind of have to do. Yeah, this being this card instead of Sanctifier is odd, I agree. Yeah, chat's favorite joke, Basic Mountain for Blood Moon. Never fails to get a laugh. But like, I guess they didn't cut their up the beanstalks. They still have some. Alright, what will they hit this time? A core Firewalker this time. Yeah, that's true. Burn is on the rise. I don't know if this is like better than Leyline of Sanctity though. It's a pretty good Fury. I might not sack my Neonate though. I think happy I have this this Blood Moon. Happy to 3 mana. You can't cast spells, but you gain a life. Guess they can still play their evoke cards. So I'm down to 9. I will need to find Hollow 1 / Vengevine to block at some point. Why don't we Goblin Lore first? We can always yield to this. Should we have not played land? I think I want to play a land. I really want to discard the land. What about the Ox of Agonas, you know? Okay, again, we're going to try to get rid of... I guess it doesn't matter a ton, since we're pretty unlikely to be able to Souls the Lost at this point. Triple Inti? I'll take it. We can trample over their pro-red creatures. It's kind of funny. We also had only 3 Intis left in the deck. So we can get in for 3. So I'm down to 6. We'll need a Hollow 1 or Vengevine. I'm kind of tired of saying it. Also, if we exile one, we can't cast a Vengevine. Cast that, I guess. It'd be kind of ridiculous to miss this many times. We've had so many looks at, like, I guess maybe not that crazy, but between like the Goblin Lore and the Ox of Agonas, the Inti triggers, it's a lot of looks. Okay, so Vengevine can come back. Huge. I'll need another blocker. I think I want to put the counter on the Inti. Well, I guess I'll have probably one Inti as a blocker at least. So maybe we just keep putting it on the Ox. It's kind of close. I think put on the Adept. I'm okay if they chump block this turn. We find a Burning Inquiry, which is a card we could cast very greedily here. Yeah, seems unwise. We'll just go Inti. And then probably don't cast the Inquiry. Kind of nice. I didn't notice we inquired away to planes earlier. Yeah, I mean, it could mill over an Ox of Agonas for us, but we also only have 24 cards left in our library. This game could be kind of like long and grandy. Let's just not. But we've kind of stabilized here, especially because Inti can give trample, although I guess they have a pretty good double block. Yeah, I can't really do much with that. I think I'm going to get in with just all the red creatures here. And then put a counter on my Ox. Too bad we can't cast that one. take 10. It was bad to throw away the Inti like this. Kind of like the prospect of maybe finding another castable. They evoke Endurance on themselves. I'm not really sure why they do that on the instep here. Does anybody? Yeah, I don't get it. Seemingly for no reason. No Hardcast Fury for the win is nice. So we're looking for Hollow One. So we cast Flameblade Adept, they go up to 13. This is, or sorry, Burning Creek up to 13. This is 5 power. If I attack with everything and they double block here, they don't quite die. Another Solitude in the deck. Yeah, another Solitude on the bottom of the deck, though. Yeah, but Eagles of the North makes some sense. I'm going to wait a turn to cast it. Cast it now. Look for the other Ox. Seems okay. Need the trample. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure like how when like the Inti was getting better. We did mill a Hollow One. Yeah, I think I get in with both of my red creatures here, and if they double block, we get in for 7. Wish my life total was like 1 higher, and I could get in with the Vengevine here. Trample. This doesn't still have trample. But if we draw, we have 2 more Hollow Ones in the deck. If we draw one of those, then we get to. We also have milled another Vengevine. But if we draw a Hollow One, we get to start attacking with our Vengevine and hopefully close the game pretty quickly. Awesome. Yeah, seems fine to just attack with. Thought we just attack with Ox every turn and play Inti and win. Oh, duh! I don't need to. Yeah, that was sorry. I don't know why I was thinking I had to attack with the Inti. I've been doing it all day without it. Just had like a weird brain fart with the new card. But a GG well plays me, but I played very bad. Just cast a Blood Moon. Should have attacked first. I think you play Hollow One first to play around subtlety. Like not that they're super likely to have subtlety, but if they subtlety the Hollow One, you're just dead. How's you know is that better? You know. You know, again, just just no pleasing everybody when it comes to the audio, but feedback is good. Certainly would have liked to be on the play against Tron. Doesn't look like I'm trying to talk into the mic. Maybe failing. They get an Urza's Tower off their stirrings, and then they think for a second, which means that they probably have Tron. Yeah, I'll cycle this now. I may find something better to discard. I also meant to get Stomping Ground again. Yeah, I guess we could also find a Hollow One and cast it now. Not quite that lucky. You get to get in for 4. And then we could potentially like just be attacking for millions next turn with Goblin Lore and Inquiry. The problem is we lost the die roll. Inquiry them off Tron. It's a little ambitious, but could potentially have been the correct play. They also have Dismember. I mean, if they have Dismember plus Tron, these are the kind of games that are super duper hard to beat. What's your payoff? Karn for bridge. Go to game 2. We have some Blood Moons in the sideboard. Have some Ancient Grudges too we can potentially bring in. I think it probably is nice to have a couple Grudges for Karn for Bridge. Yeah, just 2/2. Ox of Agonas is pretty slow. I feel somewhat comfortable cutting the Oxes. Inti can also be like a little grindy here. Cutting the 4th Inti is maybe okay. Maybe cut like the 4th Neonate. Try this. So we have Neonate into Inti, which is like kind of slow and grindy. I think we just need to try to have a faster hand against Tron. Although probably on the mold of 6, we're just going to have to keep. Grudge can blow out a Wormcoil block. Yeah, sometimes. Alright. Power plant map, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's play our Inti. Discard the Rootwalla into play and get a counter on the Neonate. Yeah, we played the Grixis Lost Soul deck. I think this one's been a bit better. But Souls of the Lost was better in that deck, and Inti is better in this deck. And I think it's kind of tough to like find a shell where both are equally good. So we could maybe at some point try to look at some shells just for like one or the other also. Yeah, so I love that they're fetching main phase because we now do have the potential to inquiry them off the Tron land. Probably not something they were really thinking about, but would maybe be kind of nice. We also have the option to maybe attack first with Inti. Although I think drawing Vengevine, I don't want to do that. May also want to play the Arid Mesa first. Let's just cast the Inquiry. So we found a Rootwalla and then another Flameblade Adept. So we get our Vengevine back. They did not discard their Tron piece. They just did discard the One Ring, so maybe that was their plan to stabilize next turn. Maybe it wasn't. I messed up by not playing my land first to pump the Rootwalla. Oops. Let's go ahead and buff Vengevine. I don't know if it matters a ton. I think I don't want to go after the Neonate because I may want to sack it. We at least get to play this Arid Mesa this turn, which rewards us for attacking first. Put them down to 8. Not a bad turn 3, just maybe a little too slow. Yeah, Inti does seem pretty powerful, I agree. Could be a good humans card too. Has some like Cauldron synergies too. Kind of excited to try her in Blue Cauldron. Kind of need to fade the ring. Still no stones means not like a Wrath. Well, they couldn't O-Stone next turn anyways. Yeah, but like at this point, Wormcoil doesn't do it. Karn doesn't do it. O-Stone doesn't do it. They reveal O-Stone. They need like exactly the One Ring, right? So we need to find Blood Moon, which we do get like a good amount of looks at between the Neonates, our draw step, our Inti, the trigger of the Inti off the Neonate. It's a good amount. We discard the Hollow one. So we've missed on our first 2 looks. We're going to have, I think, 2 more unless we find Street Wraith. Street Wraith is also, 2 more looks, which is cool. We exile a Hollow one, which costs how much? It costs 1 mana. So we're going to get O-Stoned, and we're going to lose. Oh, there's an Inquiry, which maybe snipes the O-Stone out of the hand. Did not. There's another Vengevine, but it's just like not enough. Just like never enough. They pop the O-Stone on my attack step. Okay, let's pack it in. I think I'm gonna switch to different deck. We've been like 3 hours of like Inti soulsing. cards have been like interesting and powerful. You know, I think next time I play the cards, I probably want to play them in their own shells. Maybe got some other decks. I don't know if we're gonna get to everything today. I think I want to try maybe waiting on Merfolk till tomorrow and then playing the Cave.